Hi, welcome to DURGASOFT. As you know, today we are going to start MySQL batch. Okay, so this is our first class. I'll give demo today, introduction to databases and SQL today. But before that, first let me introduce about myself. I'm Divya. I have about 9+ years of experience into data analytics. I completed my master's in data science and I have experience in teaching all the data science subjects like SQL, Tableau, Power BI, statistics, machine learning. Um, okay, so yeah, this is about me. And today we are going to start my SQL batch, right? So as I said, today it's just an first demo. So I'll give the introduction of SQL today. We will understand about a kind of importance of data, what is databases, what is SQL, and along with that, I will explain you about the course content. That is, whatever topics we will cover in this complete course, I'll discuss about that detailing. Okay, so and if you want, you can introduce about yourselves as well. You can unmute yourselves and you can just speak a little bit about your like, are you currently working or do you have some prior knowledge on SQL or are you from IT industry, non-IT industry, something like that. Anyone? Okay, let me start. So before understanding about what is SQL, we will try to understand about the importance of data. Okay, we all know that today everything is running, the complete world is running on the data only, right? So let's talk little bit about that. Then we will understand about the databases and SQL detailing. Okay, so today we are generating lots of data, correct? We know that. So from last few years, data generation has increased a lot, right? We all are starting generating a lot of data today. So what is the reason behind this? Why data generation has increased a lot? So if I say the reason, if we discuss about the reason behind that, I can say the main reason is digitization, right? Nowadays we are using everything in, everything in apps only. I can say we are using smartphones, right? We are doing everything in online only, right? So whatever we are using in applications or smartphones, basically we are generating data only from that, right? Suppose if I say, you know, we are spending a lot of time with the internet, right? We are using so many social media applications, like it can be Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, right? And not only that, I even, along with the digitalization, I can say when demonetization happened, what happened actually overnight, we everyone started doing digital payments, right? Before that we used to make cash payments only, but once demonetization happened, slowly we started using like payment applications, like it can be Paytms, Phone Pay, Google Pay, something like that, right? Previously we don't used to use those applications, but from then we started using those applications, and especially from the COVID pandemic time, correct? Whenever COVID a pandemic had happened, we started depending more on internet, right? Everything is, we are doing, suppose we are doing online shoppings, we are using so many e-commerce websites, like it can be Amazon, Flipkart, and we are using many OTT platforms like Netflix, Hotstar, right? We are watching series or movies in it, everything. Not only that, Even we are today we are learning something by connecting in online also. We started doing work from homes, like that. Everything whatever we are doing in online, that's nothing but by actually by doing all these things we are generating data only, right? And whatever applications we are using in smartphones, indirectly we are giving permissions to them to store our data, correct? Suppose, let me give an example, then you can understand clearly. For example, maybe Netflix or any application. What we will do usually whenever we started using any application, we will sign up, right? We will sign in by using, by giving up our, maybe our Gmail ID or else our phone number, correct? We will give either mail ID or mobile number, and we will set one password and we will start using it while creating the accounts, correct? So while doing that, we will, what usually we will do, maybe if it can be phone number or mail ID, and once we installed, by default we will agree to some no agreements, right? We will just, we need to agree, that is, we will agree some agreements there. That is nothing but, suppose if you remember, whenever you created your Gmail account, okay, what is the details we will give, we need to enter while creating Gmail account? If you remember, we will give our name, we will obviously, we will set one mail ID, right? We will give phone number, we need to give gender also. Along with that, we will give our mobile number, and we will give our age also. This all the details, even you can check today, no need of even creating, just open a new website, just try to open, create Gmail account. In that page you will see they will ask all these details, not only name and mobile number. They will, okay, phone number I already wrote. So not only mail, name and phone number, they will ask us to give gender and age as well, right? So at that time, while creating our Gmail account, we will give all these details and we will create the account. So what will happen? All these details is, we are actually storing in the Gmail's database, I can say. Okay, with the Gmail, with that particularly Google, we are giving all these details and we are saving all these details with Google, right? And whenever we are using the same mail ID or same mobile number to use or to create accounts in another, any another applications, it's not only Netflix, any other applications whatever we are using in our smartphones nowadays, whenever we are giving this mail ID or any the phone number, and we are accepting some agreements there, right? That is nothing but indirectly we are giving permission to that application. For example, I took Netflix here. So we are giving permission to the Netflix people that whatever data we stored with the Google, they can access that data from Google. That is what we are agreeing, right? With this mail ID, whatever associated data is there, whatever associated data is storing with Google, we are giving permission to the Netflix people to access that all the data of us from Google. That means by default we are giving indirectly all this data to Netflix also, like gender, age, mobile number, like that, right? So basically whatever applications we are using nowadays, in every application, for every application we are giving all our data to them. They are storing all our data. Why they will store all this data? In the sense, to analyze their data. Okay, that again, it's completely into data analytics part. Now I won't touch that because this is SQL class, right? But just I wanted to explain about the importance of data. That is why I'm explaining all these things. Okay, why they will store this data? In the sense, just to analyze about their business. Like, maybe if I'm talking about Netflix, as we already gave all our data, and we will see some kind of, in Netflix, if I'm talking about in Netflix, some movies I will watch or some web series I will watch, right? So they will analyze that gender wise, what is the movies we are so, males or females, what kind of movies we are watching, or else age wise, like, from maybe 20 to 25 age group, 20 to 30 age group, what kind of movies or what kind of web series we are interested in, mostly what we are watching, like that. So, or else area wise, even in every smartphones direct automatically we will give location permissions also, right? So like that they will analyze, and according to this analyzations only they will try to improve their business. Okay, let's not get deeply into that. Let's come back to the SQL part. So suppose if I talk about Amazon, okay, for Amazon also, obviously, I will create the account. Either I will use this mail ID or mobile number to create the account. So whatever details I'm storing with Google, all the details also I'm giving permission for Amazon. Right. Along with that, what will happen basically whenever we, whenever we buy any product from Amazon. Okay. Suppose I bought any product. What will happen? All that details will also store with the Amazon people. What kind of details? It can be customer details like my name, my address, my mobile number, right? And the product details like what product I bought, what is the price of the product. The data will be like this generally. First of all, order ID I can say. Whenever I purchase any order, one order ID will be generated. Okay. So order date, on which date I purchased it, and order status, like is it in transit or is it delivered, like that. And along with that, customer details like customer name. Okay, I'm just writing here. So along with the customer name, maybe customer address. I'm not writing all the every columns specially, but mostly this will be the data what they will store, right? Suppose along with that, product name, right? And price of the product, maybe supplier details, supplier name, manufacturer name, and those all details also. Okay, so let's not go deeper, but one, for every order what is happening, whenever I purchase anything, all these details will be stored with them. Okay, all these details will be stored with them. So we know, suppose if I talk about Amazon only, daily basis how many orders will they get? Definitely all over the world, or all over, let's talk about only India, whatever it is, whatever location it is, so many orders they will get. For each and every order, if they are storing data like this, definitely they should need a better system where they need to store all this data, right? Correct. Previously, what used to happen? We used to use Excel files, right? Suppose just for 1 or 2 minutes, let me talk about generations. Okay. Previously, everything was man-made, right? So many years ago, everything was man-made. And then industries came into the revolution and machines came into the revolution, so man-made work is reduced a little, and maybe machines, with the help of some machines, they used to do the work. And later computers came into existence, right? Whatever they used to store man-made, or whatever they used to do a paperwork, then machines came into existence, then computers came into existence. Once computers came into existence, maybe we started using Excel files, text files, like that, to store any data, right? Suppose this data only, whatever I wrote here, like any Amazon details like order details or customer details, all these details also we can store in Excel file also. But we have some limitations of Excel file. Okay. Maybe in couple of days we will discuss about that limitations also. But the main limitation is that we can store up to 1 million records only, and along with that we have so many limitations which we will discuss further. Okay, so as we have limitations in Excel file, then suppose if we are talking about Amazon, I just said that daily wise they will get so many orders. For every order they need to store the data. Then so much we can imagine how much data is generating only for Amazon, right? So definitely to maintain all this data in a proper manner, it's really hard to maintain this large volumes of data in Excel file. There, you know, databases came into existence. Database, that is why database came into existence. Database is nothing but a place where we can store the data. Okay, every company nowadays maintaining their own database to store the data. uh any doubts, anyone? Ayushi, do you want to ask anything? Okay, let me continue. So, as I said previously, in Excel file also we used to store the data, but as the data generation is becoming, increasing a lot. Okay, no problem. I thought you raised the hand. That is the reason I mentioned your name. No, no problem. And even if you have any doubts, you can stop me and you can ask your doubts. Okay, feel free to ask doubts or feel free to communicate. Okay, so as data is generating a lot, we can't manage all the data in Excel files or text files. There, that is why databases came into existence. Database is something, you know where we can store the data. Technical definition, if I say, database is nothing but collection of data, or I can say the collectively where we are storing the data is, known as database. Basically, every company nowadays, they are maintaining their own database to store the data, right? If they store the data only, they can analyze the data so that they can, you know take a business decisions in a proper way, right? So that is where databases came into existence. I hope it is clear. So now, perfect. Now let's talk about SQL. Okay, we understood about database. Database is nothing but we will store the data. As we are generating lots and lots of data today, we can't store all those data in small Excel files or any other files. That is the reason, according to our data generation, we will take the databases and we will store the data. Okay, fine. Then what is SQL? Full form of SQL, as we all know, structure query language, right? But what is the meaning of SQL? To understand in a better way, because usually in every batch I'll get mixed students. I'll get students who are already, already working professionals, already having some good experience, but still they, if they wanted to learn any advanced concepts of SQL, like that students also I'll get. And I'll get complete freshers, and even I'll get the students from non IT background who are looking to transit their career into the IT industry. Because definitely, if anyone is trying to, convert or transit from non IT to IT, the first subject they need to learn is SQL only. I can say SQL is a backbone for complete IT industry. So as I will get all the mixed students, be keeping them also in the mind, I'll try to explain SQL by taking one example, okay, so that you can relate it or you can understand it in a better way. So suppose, consider this as one school, okay? Maybe I'm talking about one class, maybe like 10th class. We have two sections, 10th A and 10th B. Okay. And they are maintaining their student details in one register, something like a notebook or a register kind. If you remember, maybe in our childhood, in our school also, they used to maintain a register where they used to take the attendance, right? So that example I'm taking. So they used to, they here also they are maintaining a register where they are storing some student details like student name. Okay, it can be student name, student ID, or roll number, I can say. Okay, and maybe along with that, student attendance, or let's consider as a student marks also. Just as an example, I'm taking this thing. Okay, all the students details they are maintaining in a register. Okay, one day what happened, the principal of the school, he wanted to check the students attendance, or he wanted to understand the students performance, as we are maintaining marks also here. So whenever he wanted to understand this, student's performance, he called his peon, and he said to his peon that go and bring the register from 10th A section. So I'm talking about one particular section where they are maintaining the register. Whenever principal wanted to analyze that particular student's data, he asked his peon to go to the 10th A section and bring the register. Then peon went to the class, he took the register, he gave to the principal. Okay, where principal whatever data he wanted to see, if we want to see the attendance, if we want to see the marks, whatever he wanted to analyze or whatever he wanted to see, he can see and he can understand. Okay, suppose the same scenario if I talk about a big university. Okay, this is a small school, I took the example. So instead of that, let's think about a big university, maybe something like JNTU or whatever university. Okay, in one big university where there are so many students, thousands and thousands of students, if instead of maintaining the data in the registers, they are maintaining the data in the databases, as they have thousands of students, maintaining all the data in the registers is impossible. So that is the reason they are trying to maintain the data in the database. Okay, in this scenario, if the same principal wanted to understand the student's performance, in the previous scenario, what principal did, he called his peon and he said to his peon that go and bring the register. So in this example, while communicating with the peon, he might use one language, right? It can be English, it can be Telugu, Hindi, whatever it is, right? He will definitely use one language, then only peon will understand, okay, principal wanted to see the register, and then he will act accordingly, correct? So in the previous example, how principal used one language to communicate whatever he want to the peon. In this example, in the databases, if we are storing data inside the databases, whenever principal wanted to analyze the data, he will use one language called as SQL. SQL is a language basically which is used to communicate with the database. So here principal, he needs to use SQL to communicate the database. He will write whatever he wanted to see the data. He will write some queries. Okay. He will write some queries in by using SQL, and accordingly he will get the data. That is what SQL in the sense. Am I clear? Basically, SQL is nothing but it is a language which we will use to communicate with the database. However, previous example, if we store the data in the registers, principal might use he will definitely use one language, right? Maybe Hindi or Telugu, to communicate with the peon that go and bring the register from 10th A section. Then only he can see the data from that register, right? In the same way, whenever principal wanted to understand any data, whatever stored in the database, he will use SQL language to communicate with the database. In this language, whatever data he wanted to see, he will write some queries, and according to that queries he will get the data. Okay, I hope it is clear, everyone. So now what is the definition of SQL? Technical definition of SQL is a language which is used to communicate with the database. Okay. So, okay, this is about SQL. Then what is MySQL? I'm saying that we are going to learn MySQL. Oh, right. So then what is MySQL in the sense? This is a kind of database. We have so many databases in the market, right? May something like MySQL, Oracle SQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, like that. We have so many databases in the market from different companies. For example, MySQL and Oracle SQL are the databases from Oracle company. SQL Server is a database from Microsoft company. Like that, some companies are having their own databases where we will use these databases to maintain or to communicate with the database, to store the data and to communicate with the database. Okay, these are just different tools. Something like maybe in Android we will have different companies, right? Like Samsung, OnePlus. But end of the day, we are using smartphone only. The OS will be, almost everything whatever we are using, that will be same only. It's just about the difference in the companies, right? Likewise, whatever I said now, all those are different databases. Whatever, SQL is a standard, universally declared standard language. Okay, all the concepts whatever we are going to learn, that concepts belongs to SQL only. Okay, we will learn all the concepts, we will understand the syntaxes, everything we will learn detailedly. But to learn or to use that SQL, we are using MySQL database in our course. But the syntaxes will be same, the concepts will be same. If you learn MySQL, even you can use Oracle SQL SQL Server also with the same thing, with the same queries. Concepts will be same, queries syntaxes will also be the same. Okay. It's not that if you learn MySQL and if you are attending or in any a company, if they are using SQL Server, don't think that is a different tool. Everything is same only. Only the user interface will be little bit different. Okay, that's it. Everything will be same. You can understand that and you can use that also easily, right? But we have something called as actually SQL is divided into two types, I can say SQL and no SQL. Okay. So all the examples, whatever I said, like MySQL, Oracle SQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, everything belongs to SQL. Along with that, we have something called as NoSQL also, and the tools in NoSQL is MongoDB. This is again a different thing. Whatever we learned in this SQL, that is completely different. We can't use MongoDB with this knowledge. That is entirely different. Okay, but all the tools, whatever I said, those tools are same only. Okay. So this is about MySQL. And the reason why we are learning MySQL in the sense, this is an open source platform. That means this is freely available for everyone. That is the reason most of the companies from couple of years, I mean from few years they are trying to use MySQL only. That is the reason we are using MySQL. But as I said, syntaxes are same. Even the same concept, same syntaxes you can use for this also. SQL Server or Oracle SQL also, no problem. Okay. So basically, first we understood what is database, right? Database is nothing but I said it is a place where we will store the data. Okay, how we will store the data in the sense inside data. First, we will create the database. Inside database, we will create tables. Okay, inside tables, we will store the data. Okay, so every table is nothing but it is a collection of rows and columns. Okay, I'll show you what is this rows and what is this column. And basically after creating tables only, we will insert the data inside the tables. Okay. So this is the sequence. First we will create the database. Inside database we'll create tables and inside table we will store the data. Okay. And we have one term called as RDBMS. That is nothing but relational database management system. Okay. Relational database management system. So what is this RDBMS in the sense? As I said, inside database we will create the tables, right? So inside tables only we will store the data. Okay. What is RDBMS in the sense? All the tables are related to each other in this. Okay, if all the tables are related to each other, we will say that database is following RDBMS technique. Okay, all the tools whatever I write here, all the databases will follow RDBMS technique only. That means how many tables we will create inside that database, all the tables will be related to each other. So what is this relation, how we will create this relationship, everything we will learn going forward. Okay, just to basic, as a basic understanding, I'm saying these points now. So whatever I said till now, is that clear for everyone? Any doubts till here? If you wanted to know anything, if you have any doubts, you can ask me freely. Uh, if there is no doubts, I will show you the user interface of MySQL also. Mm, okay, perfect. Any others? Any doubts? So once we are done with our demo classes, I will show you the installation process of MySQL. No worries. I'll show in the class and then you can follow the same steps. Okay. But for now, I'm directly showing you the user interface. So once we install the MySQL workbench, this is the first page. This is how you can see. You will see something like local instance here. You need to click on this. Give me a second. Let me close this files. Okay. This is the user interface of MySQL workbench. Okay. So first we have this, we will call it as file menu. And the second one we will call it as, so the first line where you can see file, edit, view, this we will call it as menu bar. And the second one we'll call it as toolbar. Okay, we will have some options here, which we will see detailing going forward anyways. And you can see something called as schemas here, right? So below schemas, whatever you are seeing all these names, those are nothing but the list of the database. Basically below schemas, whatever you are seeing, this is a list of the databases available in my system. As I created so many databases, I can see all the database list like this. But initially whenever you install the software, you can see only sys database. Only one database will be available for you, sys database, and then whatever databases you will create, that database list you can see like this. Okay. And every database you can able to see here, we can expand here. After expanding, you can see in every database we have four sections, that is tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. We will learn everything of course in detail in going forward, but this is a database list, whatever you can see here. Okay. And below is a information section, this box. Okay. Some kind of informations we can see here, something like suppose in this particular database, if I'm expanding, I already created some tables, we can expand here. If I am selecting one table name, you can see I got some information here like column names, and this will call it as data types. I'll explain them everything, but basically this is the information section. If I'm selecting any table name, I can able to see some kind of information about that table in the information section. Okay. And this is the output section. Once we execute any queries, we can able to see output here. And this is the editor where we will write all the queries. Basically in this we will call them as SQL files. To open a new SQL file, we have two options. Either file, we need to click on file. In file, second option, new query tab. Okay, if I'm clicking on this, you can see I can able to open one new SQL file. This is the editor page where I can write all the SQL queries. So either file menu, new query tab, or else shortcut first symbol in toolbar. Okay, this one, first symbol in toolbar. Let me use, suppose if I'm clicking on this, I can able to open in another file, right? Like this, anything is fine. Here only we need to write SQL queries. Okay. So inside SQL file also you can see some options, right? So the first option is a folder icon. Actually, after writing any SQL queries, we can save this file into our systems. To save this file, second option you can see save button, right? Suppose I will write some queries here. To save this file, I need to click on this save button. Then I can give any file name and I can store wherever I want, in whatever folder I want, I can store as a SQL file, right? Save. So this is a save button, and the first icon is folder icon. This is basically if I wanted to open already saved files, I need to click on this folder icon and I can open any kind of folder here like this. right? So if I wanted to open already saved files, we will actually select folder icon and we can open by using that. Okay. And third option, and the important option, this is execute button. Okay, after writing any queries we need to execute to see the outputs. So this is the execute button, third icon. Okay, and once we execute, output section will be seen in the bottom here. So this is about the basic understanding and the basic options. Remaining options going forward, whenever we are working with them, we will understand. Okay, so now let's start understanding basic a few more basic points, and along with that we will create our first database today. Okay, so first of all, SQL, in the sense, as I already said, SQL is a language which is used to communicate with the database, right? Then what is database? I can say it is a collection of data, right? Maybe I need to write this first before SQL. So I'll just, okay, database in the sense collection of data where we will store all the data. Okay, SQL in the sense structured query language. Basically, it is a language which is used to communicate with the database. Okay, we have something called as comments in SQL. We will use comments. Suppose if you observe, before writing every line, I used one symbol here, like two hyphens, right? This is nothing but comments. We have two types of comments, like in every other programming language, like in Java, Python. In that languages also we have comments. Likewise, in SQL also we have comments. That is a single line comment, and multi-line comment. Okay, basically what is comment in the sense, whatever I don't want to execute, that I will write inside comments. Okay, so basically we will write some syntaxes in SQL. Once we execute that particular syntax, we will get the output. But if I don't want to execute anything, I will write that inside comments. Okay, that is what I did. This I don't want to execute because this I wrote something like a notes. That is the reason I used this symbol. That means this is a non-executable. Okay, in single line if I am writing anything, I will use this symbol. That is single line comments, we will call it as. In single lines we will write them inside comments, and we have two symbols for that. Either we will use this symbol or else we can use hash. Anything is fine. Okay, instead of this I can use hash also, either this symbol or else hash. Okay, if we use any of this symbol and if we write anything inside it, that will be considered as single line comment. That is, we can't execute that. We are not considering that as an executable statement. Okay, likewise we have multi-line comments. Suppose in multiple lines if I write anything inside comment, the symbols we will use like this, hash and star, and then we will write anything. Okay, I'm just writing something like this in a three lines, and this is the close of the comment. This is the start of the comment. This is the close of the comment. Hash star star hash, in between whatever we wanted to write, we can write in multiple lines. So this is a multi-line comments. Whatever we write inside them, that will be non-executable. Okay. Usually in my classes, what I'll do, I'll see after every class I will upload this SQL file only, instead of giving you some theory kind of PDFs. In SQL, the best way of learning is that I will share this SQL files only, where whatever theory part is there, I will write as a comments here. I'll use this comment symbols and I'll write theory part here only. At the bottom, you can find the syntaxes, you can find the examples. Like that, I will write everything in a SQL files, and once we are done with every topic, I'll upload this SQL files only for you, so that whenever you wanted to revise the concepts, it will be easy for you. In one page, in one file only, you will get to see every details about that particular topic, right? So like this, for notes I'll write like this inside comments in my class. Okay, so this is about comments. And what next? SQL MySQL is case insensitive. That means we can use lowercase or uppercase. Anything we can use, no problem. It is case insensitive. We can use anything. Anything is fine. Okay. So these are some basic points which we need to know before understanding or before getting into the actual concepts. Now we have something called as syntax. So what is syntax? In the sense, we can understand it something like a rule or a formula. Okay, for every concept we have syntaxes here. We need to follow that syntax only. Okay, so first let's create our first database. Okay, so as I said, for everything we have syntaxes. So for creating database also we have a syntax. What is that syntax? In the sense, create database, database name. This is the syntax. Okay, I'm writing syntax also inside comments only. So for creating database, the syntax is this one: create database, database name. Every time we need to give unique database names here. Okay, so let's create our first database. Create database, database name. Suppose, as I said, we need to give unique database. I'll just remove this. Okay, I'll give the database name as SQL demo. Okay, previously already have the database with the same name. That is the reason I removed it. Okay, now I'm using the again, because with this we can't use same database names again and again. If I'm using the already existing database name, it will throw me error stating the database already exists. Okay, so every time we need to give unique names here. So this is the syntax to create the database. Create database, database name. Okay. So I'm selecting this and we need to execute. This is the execute button, as I said, third icon. I'm clicking on this, and at the bottom you can see this is the output section. So if you can see like this green color tick mark, that means it executed successfully. If we got any errors, it will show us red color cross mark. For example, once again, let me execute the same statement and let's see. See, it is throwing me error stating can't create database SQL demo because database exists. This database is already existed. I can't create once again database with the same name. So this is an error message. You can see red color cross mark we got here, right? Like that. So I created the database. See that database in this list, we need to refresh once. This here beside schemas, we have a refresh button, right? So I'm just clicking on this refresh button. You can see now I got the SQL demo. This database name I can able to see in this list, right? If we expand database, as I said, we will have four options: tables, views, stored procedures, functions. First, we'll concentrate on tables. We'll create tables and we will understand everything related to tables. And then once eventually we will learn views, stored procedures, functions also. Okay. So this is how we will create the table. Okay. And after creating the table, the next thing is that we need to activate the table. Sorry, activate the database. Okay, we need to activate the database because we are having so many databases here, right? But whatever database I wanted to use, we need to activate that particular database. Then only SQL will understand we are going to use that particular database. Okay. So to activate the database also we have a syntax, and the syntax is use database name. Okay. This is the syntax. So I will write it as use SQL demo, right? I'm executing this, selected, executing. You can see now this particular database is got highlighted. Previously, DURGASOFT database is in activation. That is the reason we can able to see in dark color. Now I activated SQL demo. You can see this one is highlighted and you can see in bold characters this database, right? So going forward, whatever queries I will execute, all the queries will be executed in this database only. Okay, like that. Obviously, in real time, we will connect to only one database, that is our client's database. But in learning process, as we will have multiple databases, every time before using, we need to activate the database and then we need to start working on it. Okay. I hope it is clear. So we created the database, we activated the database. Next step is to create the table. Okay. So before creating the table here, let me show you in Excel file. Suppose I said something about like rows and columns, no? So suppose if I wanted to create a table on employees, okay? So my table name is employees. I wanted to store like employee ID, maybe employee name, okay? Maybe salary, maybe date of joining. Four columns I wanted to create. I wanted to store this data in it. Okay. Employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. Okay, let me enter some data. Maybe employee ID is one. I'm randomly entering some data. Date of joining. Okay, I'll enter second. Okay. Suppose this is my data. Okay. Now what is this? Employees is my table name. Okay, employees is my table name. Vertical thing, as I said, table is nothing but collection of rows and columns. Okay, vertical thing is called as column. Okay, this thing is called as column. Mostly we all of you might know, but let me tell you once again. Okay, this is column. That is, we have four columns here. Employee ID is one column, employee name is one column, salary is one column, date of joining is one column, and horizontal thing is called as row. Okay, horizontal thing is called as row. That means we have two rows here. Okay, this is my first row and this is my second row of data, like that. So every table is a collection of rows and columns. Okay. As this is an Excel file, I showed you like this. Now in database, if we wanted to create a table, we will also, we will write here again a syntax, and the syntax will be create table, table name, and then we will use brackets, or technically we will call them as parentheses. Inside parentheses, how many columns I wanted to use, that many column names I can give, like column name 1, and for every column name we will use something called as data type. What is this data type? I'll explain you maybe tomorrow. Okay, next column name 2, then data type, like this. How many columns I want, that many columns I can execute, I can give. Okay. So this is the syntax of creating a table. Table name we will give and some columns. Suppose let me create a table. Create table. My table name is employees. Whatever I gave in the Excel file, same details I'll give. My table name is employees and I'll open brackets, and within the brackets I'll give the column names. First column is employee ID. Data type I'll explain tomorrow. I'll explain what is data type, how many types of data types are there, and then we will create this table. We will give the data types for this table. But for now, I'm just trying to give the column names here. Second column name is employee name, then salary, then date of joining. Okay, like this, I'm giving column names for now, but for each and every column name, we need to give data types as well. So we will understand about data types tomorrow, and then we will create our first table tomorrow only. Okay, because now I wanted to show you the course content. I wanted to discuss what topics we will cover in our course. Okay, but till here, whatever I explained today, am I clear? Everyone, do you have any doubts or any other doubts? If you wanted to know from me, you can just ask me. Tomorrow is also a demo class. We'll continue from here. I will explain first about data types, and then we'll create the table. Then we will learn about some syntaxes, some commands tomorrow. Okay. Today we will see about the course content. Okay, as you know, the course duration is of 35 days, 35 sessions. Actually, I'll take classes from Monday to Friday, same timings, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. Okay, so the course content or the topics which we are going to cover, as I said, I will have a mixed students every time. So everything will be, I will teach everything from scratch. If you don't know completely about SQL also, no problem. Starting from the what is data, I already gave the introduction today, till the very advanced concept, we will learn everything very slowly and very practically. Okay, so the first concept is introduction of databases and SQL. We are done today. Limitations of Excel file, after a couple of days I'll explain. Creation of database and tables. Database we saw today, tables we will see tomorrow. MySQL installation, after demo classes I'll show you the installation process. Data types in SQL, tomorrow we will cover this. SQL commands and sub languages. Okay, we have some sub languages, basically 5 types of sub languages. Okay, that is DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. In each sub language we have some commands. Okay, we will learn each and every command detailedly. Okay, this is from here our main actual concepts will start from sub languages. Okay, first we will learn all the commands which we have inside each sub language, and then we have integrity constraints. That means we have some keys or constraints in SQL, that is like primary key, okay, foreign key, not null constraint, unique constraint, check constraint, default constraint. Like that, we have some constraints in SQL. We will learn each and every constraint by solving some examples practically. Okay, so up to here I can say this is the very basics of SQL. Okay, once we are done with the SQL, the specialty of my course is that I will teach everything by using one real-time project. I mean real-time database, because definitely we can learn all the concepts by using some simple employees table or students table also, that you know, that's okay. But the main difference is that once we started working in any company, definitely we will connect to the client's database, and we need to, and we will deal with large volumes of data there, right? So in learning process also, if we start learning everything by using large volumes of data, then that will be easy for us to maintain the data or to deal with the particular databases, right? So that is the reason here also I will teach everything by using real-time database. The database is a kind of OTT platform database, like Netflix database I can say, or else I can say that is a movies database. Okay, once we are done with all the basic concepts, this is the very basics of SQL. Till here I will teach by using some simple tables like employees table, students table, customer table, users table, like that. Some basic tables I'll use, and I'll explain. Once we are done with this, I'll give the real time project, real time database for you. I'll explain the database, and I'll show you how to restore that database in your systems. Then our actual concepts will start. Okay, the next concept is, we have important concept, that is operators and clauses. We have some clauses in, just a second, we have some clauses in SQL. We have some clauses in SQL like where clause, order by clause, okay, distinct clause, limit clause. We will learn each and every clause along with the clauses. Basically, we will use operators and clauses together. That is the reason we will learn this concept together. Okay, we have some operators like and operator, or operator, not operator, range operator. That is nothing but between operator, and next in operator. We will also call them as membership operator. So everything we will learn practically only. And next, one more important operator we have, that is like operator. Okay, like operator is nothing but we will use like operator for pattern matching of the data. Okay, if we wanted to fetch any data based on any particular pattern, if we want to match any particular pattern, then we will use like profile. Okay, if we are into full stack development, if you are into data analytics or testing, whatever it is, wherever you go, all these concepts will be important for you. And we need to use this pattern matchings also. So by using like operator, We have some wildcards in like operator by using which we will search for the pattern matchings. Okay, we will learn everything by solving some examples by using real-time database only. Okay, and then next concept is about functions. We have some functions like number functions, character functions, date functions, aggregate functions. Okay, in each of this, again, we are having so many functions. Each one we will discuss detailedly. These are all inbuilt functions we have in SQL. We will learn each and every function detailedly by solving the examples. Okay, and the next concept and the most important concept is joins. I can say very simply that SQL is a backbone for complete IT industry. Okay, and in SQL, I can say joins is the backbone and for SQL, because whatever job role you will work, mostly if you are working on SQL, you will use this joins concept. Join is nothing but if we have tables, if we have data in multiple tables, and if we wanted to work on that multiple tables, first of all we will use joins. We will use joins on that tables, and then accordingly we will use remaining concepts after performing a join. So we have so many joins here, like inner join, left join, right join, outer join, self join, cross join, and natural join. We will discuss each and every join detailedly. A full join, of course. We will discuss each and every join very detailedly by solving so many examples. As joins is a very important concept. Only for this concept, not only whatever examples I'll teach in the class, along with that I'll give some assignment questions also, something like some practice questions. We'll have some 6 or 7 questions, and I'll give some time like 1 week or 10 days. Take your time, try to solve those questions, so that it is just no need of submitting your answers to me. It is just for your realization, to make you understand whether you can able to solve joins questions or not. Okay, so just for your understanding only, I'll give the questions for you and I'll give the time. Maybe after 10 days, one I'll explain all those solutions in the class, so that you can just validate yourself whether you are writing the correct syntaxes or not. Okay, I'll follow this process only for joins because joins are very important. And the next concept is regular expression. This is also again we will use for pattern matching of the data only. Same like like operator, we have one more concept, that is regular expression. We have anchors in regular expression. Basically, by using like operators, we can we can see only two possibilities of data patterns, but in our regular expressions we have so many possibilities. So in so many ways we can check for the pattern. So we will learn each and every anchor in each and every method in regular expressions. Okay, so here we learned some clauses already. Along with that, we have few more clauses, that is group by clause and having clause. Okay, to understand this clause, we need to understand joins. That is the reason after joins, I mentioned this clauses. Okay, few more important clauses, group by clause and having clause. And we will learn using aggregate functions inside group by also. Okay, so these are the concepts actually. And the next concept is subqueries. We have a subquery concept, that is nothing but if we write any query inside another query, that is called as subqueries. We have so many types of subqueries like single row subquery, multi-row subquery, correlated subquery, non-correlated subquery. Everything we will learn practically by solving the examples. Okay, next normalizations and denormalization concept, normal forms. That is nothing but whenever we will get the data from the client, we will get raw data. Basically they will produce they will give raw data for us, that will be maybe in the file of in the form of Excel files or text files. We need to convert that data, we need to clean the data, and then we need to convert that data into perfect database. Okay, whatever data they are providing, that data, whatever data they are giving in Excel file, that data is basically, we'll call it as denormalized data. Okay, and once we create the database, once we give a perfect form to that data, we will call that as normalized data. Okay, so what is denormalized data? What is normalized data? How we are converting denormalized data into normal form, that is normalized data, we will see. In that conversion process, we use three normal forms, 1NF, 2NF, and 3NF. We have some rules in every normal form. We will learn everything very practically by using sales data. Okay, I can bet in any other institute, if they include this concept, they will tell you they as a complete theory concept only. But practically, I will show you how we are going to convert denormalized data into normalized form by showing you real-time sales data. Okay, I'll show you how we are converting practically. Okay, then ER diagrams, views, indexes, all these are small concepts, but again very useful and important concepts. Okay, and not only explaining the concepts here, why we will use this concept, what are the use cases, in which scenarios we will use all these concepts also we will discuss. Like why we will use index, in which scenarios we will use views, what is temporary tables. Temporary tables is one concept. The most important use case is that whenever we wanted to remove duplicate data, we will use temporary tables in real time. Like that, I will explain everything along with the use cases by solving the examples. Okay, next, cities. Again, I can bet in any other institutes, in any other course content, you cannot find city concept. This is a one more advanced concept, but just for your knowledge, I included this concept also. CT is nothing but common table expression. This is another way of writing a queries. We will learn everything practically. Next, stored procedures. To finish our daily tasks in a proper way, we will use stored procedures in real time. So again, we have two types of stored procedures. We will learn everything practically. Next, window functions. Nowadays, in any interviews, you can expect a definite question from Windows function. This is also advanced concept. Previously, I didn't included this concept in my course content, but from upon students request only, I also included this concept, because nowadays we can expect at least questions, at least one question in every interview. So we have five types of window functions: rank, dense rank, row number, lead, and lag. Everything we will discuss detailing with examples. Okay, and at the end I'll discuss interview questions also. Okay, so this is our course content which we are going to cover in 35 sessions, and the course fees is only 3000. This is our first demo. Tomorrow is also a demo session. Just attend the demo. We will continue understanding about how to create tables and how to insert the data, how to display the data. Once we are done with it, we will start sub languages concept also tomorrow. Okay, I hope it is clear whatever I said for you till now. And admin people already posted about the registration details in the chat box. Just go through that. As you attended the session, you will get one mail also from them. In that mail also, you will have that registration process. If you are interested, you can get register, or else attend tomorrow's session also. Tomorrow is also a demo class, then you can decide. So do you have any questions, any doubts, anyone? If you want to ask me, you can just go ahead. Anyone, any doubts? If there is no doubts, I'll end the session for now and let's meet tomorrow. Perfect. Okay, Venkat. All right then. Let's meet tomorrow. Bye.